Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel and to today's video all about what's it like to be an accounting apprentice and 3 top tips you need to know, especially if you're wanting to work in the accounting and finance sector. I'm delighted to be joined today by Toheed, which you'll be happy to know is an accounting apprentice. He's come on the channel, so thank you so much, Toheed, to share his experiences. Feel free to introduce yourself, Toheed.
Happy to be here. So I'm an accounting apprentice in Newcastle. I studied accounting and finance for 3 years at Newcastle University, and now having graduated last year, I'm an accounting apprentice studying the ATT professional qualification.
Nice. So doing ATT on there, so the Association of Tax Technicians, for anyone who hasn't looked into it from there. But what is the first key thing, Toheed, that anyone who's applying for an accounting apprenticeship needs to know, in your opinion?
So number one, there's going to be new systems and software that you'll be getting used to. One of the things that I found was that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. There'll be a team of people around you that will be willing and happy to help you. And you have to understand that an apprenticeship is a journey. You are always going to be learning, and that new software and systems, you have a team of people behind you that will help you. Number two, there's studying. You'll be studying alongside your work. So it's really important to have a routine where you build in your studying alongside your work. You will get days off, you will have study days, and you will have time off work for your professional qualification. But being able to develop that routine while you're an apprentice is really, really important, I found. And sticking to it is really important.
Oh yeah, I agree. And number 3, what were we thinking?
Number 3, I would say, is probably the most important, and it's networking, taking advantage of the opportunities that will come to you at work. At work, you will have tons of opportunities, not only for training, but also for networking. And being able to take advantage of these opportunities will mean that you will be able to meet you'll be able to meet many more people at work. And not only will that be able to build your experience, but it'll improve your networking communication skills. So take advantage of these opportunities that come to you.
Spot on. Oh, absolutely spot on. And from my experience, Toheed, of actually trading accounting apprentices in my days of working in a small practice like you're at, it is a shock to the system. So let's go into a bit of more detail on number 1 with the systems, the environment, because you might be going from school, college, university to now into a 9-to-5 with commitments. What's your advice for an accounting student getting onto apprentice, how to deal with that so that they're effective from the new change in their life?
Well, something small, whether you're at university or sixth form, you'll find that when you become an accounting apprentice, Microsoft Excel is your number 1 go-to when it comes to doing tax returns or whatever. So one of the things that I would say is have that focus and aim of becoming more competent in using Microsoft Excel. But in addition to that, if you're fairly new to maybe Microsoft Excel, there are tons of courses out there that you can take advantage of. And I would 100% advise you to go and do that, because Microsoft Excel really is the foundation of what we do.
Oh, I cannot agree with you anymore. When I first started on my study contract, working in a small practice, I thought I was decent at Excel. Oh, I had a bit of catching up to do on there, so I'd highly recommend those courses, just getting yourself a lot familiar. And what about meeting other people, professionals? Because most likely you're going to be the youngest in the office, I would say. What about the people side and working with qualified people as well? What's been your experience there?
My experience there has been that as an apprentice, I was actually surprised at my role, because my role is very broad. So that means that I'm able to work with teams around the firm that I work at. So whether that's payroll, accounts,
Yeah.
Personal tax, I'm able to work with a range of people. But I think that I found that there's another side of my company, which is corporate finance, and that's the side that I don't really speak to that often. But one advice that I would give, one piece of advice is to take advantage of the opportunities that come, whether that's training that you'll get sent emails about, or that's networking events outside of work. For example, there's an event coming up quite recently. ICW have a ball on the 25th of March, and that's something that we got an email about, and I've taken that opportunity because there are people that are going to that event that I haven't actually spoke to because they are part of a different department to myself. I've taken advantage of the opportunity to ensure that I'm meeting more people and also building my experience.
Yes. Oh, and the final point to add on our top tip number 1, I'm going to put it down as professional sort of professionalism. I'm going to have it down as the way that you email people. Phones at work is another thing which really struck me when I was looking after accounting apprentices as well, and even for myself. But you put it in your bag, you put it away. But from a professional point of view, was it a shock to the system being in a professional environment versus a sort of casual school to university environment?
It definitely 100% was. It was a big shock to me. It really was. I remember one of the first things I did was draft an email on the different things that we needed from a client on the tax return, and it was quite shocking when I got the draft email back from my mentor, and the amount of amendments that were on there was just really shocking. So that opportunity that gave me that understanding of what it's actually like to write an email in a professional setting. It does take time to get used to. I found it really does. Even right now, I'm still learning, but you don't have to be afraid. There's people around you. There's a whole team around you that are able to support you. And I found that the best process for me in terms of writing emails is first to draft an email and then show it to my mentor, who then provides the right advice to go about that.
Lovely. And what's it been like having a mentor? Someone to sort of show you the ropes? You've got any questions? What's it like having that person there to help you out?
It's been great. I really have found that it's really important as an apprentice to have that one point of contact in your firm. And I think that I've gotten to a point now that I'm no longer afraid to ask for help. And I think a lot of apprentices are in the same position where at the start they are afraid to ask for help. But you have to understand that as an apprentice, you are on a training contract. You are training, and every day you are learning something new. You're asking for help from somebody who's been in exactly the same situation, been in exactly the same position as you. You shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. You're an apprentice, you're learning, and you will always be learning.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And maybe you're applying for an accounting apprenticeship. Ask that at the interview. What's the sort of mentorship? What's the structure? What will you be doing? And as Toheed said on there, a nice varied role that's going to put you out your comfort zone and make the most of it as well. But you did touch on there our tip number 2 as to the studying on there as well, and the balance between the two in terms of work. So nudging on to tip number 2, Toheed, walk and talk us through your experience as to, was it a shock to the system studying and working at the same time? But you are on a apprentice contract. So what's it been like for you?
I was expecting it to be difficult with studying and also doing a 9-to-5 job. But I think that one of the things that I found, and I think a lot of other apprentices won't be in the same situation, is that the paper that I'm going to be studying quite recently is exactly what I'm doing at work. It's personal tax, that is exactly what I'm doing at work.
Nice.
And I think that really has helped me in my studying journey, because it means that the stuff that will be coming on my exam is exactly what I'm doing at work. So that really will help, I think, when I get more further into the ATT qualification and I'm studying, for example, business tax. That's something quite different to what I'm doing. That's when I might find it a little bit more difficult. But again, at my firm, I've got a team of people around me, and I always chat to my mentor on how I'm finding ATT and the bits that I'm finding difficult, and everyone's willing to help.
Sweet. And out of interest, are there any other apprentices at your company, or are you working mainly with qualified people? How's that sort of help for you, or what's the sort of structure like around your day to day?
Within my firm, there are a lot of apprentices.
Oh, cool.
There are a lot of apprentices. In my team specifically, I'm the only apprentice. But in my firm altogether, there are a lot of apprentices, and that really has helped me because on my apprenticeship, I am on a studying contract. I'm studying with Kaplan, and a lot of the other apprentices at my firm are also studying with Kaplan, and it's really helpful for me to speak to them, tips, advice. I'm always able to speak to them, and they're always willing to help.
Great stuff.
So that really has helped me to speak to more people within the firm.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference. And again, something to ask at an interview stage as to if you're going for an accounting apprenticeship, ask if there are any others who are going to be at the firm as well for you. But that is going to lead us on to nicely there for tip number 3, which I completely agree with you in terms of networking. So walk and talk us through, how does networking fit into an accounting apprentice sort of day to day, week to week, since you've been working working in the professional world now?
Networking is definitely really, really important, because one of the things that I've found is that there might be occasions where, for example, payroll, for example, where I don't have any experience in, but there might be a case or a person's tax return that I'm doing where I might need help in that specific area. Being able to network with people in your firm means that you know where to go to when you need to get help. But on a more wider level, on a different level, I would say that networking is really important if you want to build your communication skills. That's why it's really important to take advantage of the opportunities that come to you. And believe me, there will be a lot of opportunities that will come to you, not just for training in, for example, I'm training in healthcare, and there's a lot of opportunities for training that come to myself, but the opportunities that also come to, go out with friends for a meal, etc. To go to events. For example, I'm going to an event quite recently next week with ICEW. That will give me an opportunity to not only speak to more people within my firm. So,
fantastic. And just to add on to that, go on.
But also, more importantly, networking with people from firms within Newcastle that I wouldn't have otherwise met. And I think that really is the advantage of taking the reason why I've took advantage of these opportunities to meet people, more apprentices, more specifically, that are in exactly the same position that I'm in. So it'll be really a good opportunity for me to speak to them and see how they're finding their apprenticeship journey.
Yeah. Oh, spot on. No, completely agree with you again on there. And just to add from my experience is, first of all, for networking, if you're not on LinkedIn, that is the first social media platform to get yourself a professional account set up. The reason for that is that an accounting apprentice is usually going to be on Instagram, Facebook, other sort of social networks out there. But if you're working with senior professionals who have been working in accounting for a number of years, I can tell you now, they are not going to want to keep in touch with you on Facebook or Instagram. Would you say that's correct from your experience, Toheed, on there?
It is, but I did get people that I connected with on LinkedIn that just didn't reply at all. But you have to have that confidence within yourself. But on networking, you really do have to take advantage of the opportunities that come to you, and there will be a lot. But and you have to be confident. And one of the ways that I networked with people in the same position as I was then looking to go into is engaging with a charity called Upreach. I was able to secure shadowing with a auditor in the Big Four. Yeah, so you really do have to understand the importance, rather the value that these charities like Upreach give to you. And to me, they gave me the opportunity to shadow an auditor at the Big Four, and it also gave me the opportunity to get mentoring from somebody at the Big Four.
Yeah.
And more importantly than that, it built my communication skills and helped me to understand what a day in the life of an auditor then was in the Big Four. Because when networking, one of the really important things about networking is to speak to people who are in the position that you are looking to then go into. Great. Sometimes it's all in good speaking to recruiters at careers fairs, for example. But I think when it comes to networking, you need to speak to people who are in the position that you are looking to go into. Yeah. And that's why I took advantage of the opportunities that Upreach gave to me, as they were connecting me to people who were in the roles that I wanted to go into. Yeah. So I could listen to what a day in the life looks like for an auditor, and that actually really helped me, because it helped me understand that auditing wasn't a sector that I wanted to go down. Yeah. So I went down another route through listening and networking.
Yeah, well, better to find out mentoring, and then you go, hey, it's not for me, it's all right. But just to add on to that as well, for the usual transparency on the channel, Toheed and I connected on LinkedIn, and the one thing that really stood out to me was just your politeness, and also just pleases and thank yous and asking politely, and just coming across as a genuine person go a long, long way. Because you've got to remember, these people are busy professionals with other commitments, and you're asking for some of their time. So just little things like that could be the difference, like you're saying, Toheed, of getting that shadowing, getting that internship, and getting that experience that could just help propel you onto the next stage on there. But is there anything else, Toheed, that is coming to your mind now that is just imperative? You couldn't sleep tonight if you couldn't explain it to the viewers, that could help them if they're going to do an accounting apprenticeship, and so they know what it's like.
It goes back to networking. Do not be afraid to speak to people in the position that you are wanting to go into. So do not be afraid to attend these career events. Take advantage of the opportunities that come to you to network. Join societies at university. Take advantage of these opportunities, because you really will be able to then understand what it's like to work as an auditor, as an accountant, as a tax advisor. So really do take advantage of the networking opportunities that come to your doorstep.
Yeah, put yourself out there. It's mud and wall theory. You take a clump of mud, you throw it at the wall, some of it will stick and some of it will fall to the bottom. It's just, you got to keep playing the game, isn't it, on there, and just keep trying. There'll be days, you and I have both had it, where you get rejected, they don't reply, you maybe post something online on LinkedIn that doesn't get a good response, but you just got to keep consistent at it, and a better understanding as to what you're looking to go and trying to achieve, and then finding the right people who can help and advise you to get there on there as well. But I must say, Toheed, thank you so much for your time this evening. As you could see, guys, from behind him, I've put all of Toheed's details in the description below. Check out his content, some super stuff on there. And Toheed, thank you. Just say thank you so much again for your time and your insights there. I really, really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, and this could be the little difference, Toheed, in helping someone to get on that accounting apprenticeship. So if you're applying or you're currently working at one, leave us a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Toheed and I will check them out, give you any advice, and be sure to subscribe and like, so you get access to all the free materials, free videos on there, and some nice tips. But I think, would you like them to leave a comment below, Toheed? Let us know where you are as well, where you're watching this.
Exactly. as James said, he'll be putting my LinkedIn down below, and also connect with myself on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have and provide you the help that you need to get onto your apprenticeship
Oh,
or graduate job journey.
absolute, absolute superstar. Well, on that bombshell, we'll see you next time. Cheers.